A quorum. I'd like to call the Finance and Facility Committee meeting of June 20th to order. Approval of the May minutes. Can I have a motion to approve? Jim, second. Margaret, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion approved. Okay. Action items. Recommend approval of payroll certification. Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. I should ask for discussion, right? Recommend approval of unpaid leave of absence for Tuba. Move. Margaret, second. Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Okay, I'm going in myself here. Recommend approval of federal college work study allocation incentive payment. Motion.
Second.
Margaret, second. Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Recommend renewal of Transact Campus Incorporated. Mark, Jim, second. Mark, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning.
Okay, 2.5, recommend approval of resolution adopting the college 23-24 operating budget, sponsor services, full-time positions, student FTEs, and 2023-24 tuition and fees.
So, Madam Chair, I'd like to request an amendment to the actual budget, the tuition and fee resolution, which is 5 pages long. On page 4, under student fees, the very first line says full-time student $200. I'm requesting to amend that to $210. And then the next line for the part-time student, instead of $16, it should be $20. Just as information, student fees are actually authorized by the student government. And at the end of April, they approved these increases. So I missed an updated version of their minutes. So it's really kind of a pass through where we provide funding for all the student activities under the, not under the college operating budget, but actually under the faculty student association corporation.
Can we,
That was 210 and
$20.
okay, do we have to approve the change
Amendment?
first, the amendment?
No, I don't think.
Or can we do it?
Formal motion, we just make a motion in that form.
Okay,
You just make a motion as
amended.
As amended, yeah.
okay. 2.1, 2.5, recommended adoption with the amendment. Move. Margaret, second. Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Question?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Recommend approval of petty cash, 2.6, sorry. Move. Margaret, second. Jim, favor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No, motion approved. Recommend approval of new position description for Director of Training, Education and Workforce Development.
Is this a new position entirely or a combination,
It's an existing position.
an existing
It's
position?
an existing position.
Okay,
Can I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second, Jim, all in favor? Any opposition? Motion approved. Okay,
These 3 are all the same.
Same thing.
Incumbents are in the positions. We've just upgraded the jobs based on a number of changes that have occurred over the last several years.
all right. 2.8, recommend approval of job description associate dean for distance learning, professional development, and student success. Motion, Jim,
Second.
Margaret, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. 2.9, recommend approval of job description for budget and institutional effectiveness officer.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
For the third
Margaret,
time.
second, Jim, all in favor? Any motion approved. 2.10, recommend approval of bid 23 to 14. SUNY Broome Photo Lab relocation, general construction.
So moved.
Jim,
Second.
second, Margaret, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Madam Chair, just a qualification, it's 4 separate contracts in addition to general construction, there's also electric,
Okay,
plumbing and HVAC, so it's 4 separate contracts.
okay. To final up. Recommend approval of bid 23 to 14 SUNY Broome Photo Lab relocation, electrical construction. Jim, second, Margaret?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion approved. 2.12, sorry. Recommend approval of bid 23 to 14 SUNY Broome Photo Lab relocation, HVAC construction. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Margaret, second, Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Another one.
2.13, recommend approval of bid 2023 to 14 SUNY Broome Photo Lab relocation, plumbing construction.
I'll move it.
Margaret, second, Jim.
These are all low bids, right, David?
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion. Okay, information items. President's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, I'll be brief. Enrollment continues to run ahead. We've been hovering around 4% or so the last few weeks, so it's a good sign. Hopefully it'll level off there. And again, there's a reminder that the Payments and Advantage Program students are not in there yet. There might be a few, but we do a group orientation and registration in July. So the big numbers really aren't even in there yet. So it's a good trend. And this is my last F&F meeting as president here or
You're gonna cry?
anywhere most likely. I'll save that for Thursday or big Saturday afternoon. I'll save that for I'll have so many family and friends there. We have friends come from all over the country, actually. Saturday.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So I want to thank you all for a great run. And
Thank you.
appreciate-
Thank you.
I appreciate all the support over the years. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Mm.
And on a high note, it's been a long time since I've been able to say week after week that enrollment is up.
Yes,
Yeah. Very good. Thank you very much for your years. Thank you. Okay, 3.2, Michael.
Yeah, so in your packet is just the monthly budget forecast. It's the same as it's been for several months. So we continue to project using a little under 3.8 million out of stimulus money. Again, that'll leave about 2.9 million. And the budget you just passed for next year has about 2.4 million in it, which would then leave about $500,000. Everything was perfect with year-end results this year, as well as the budget performing at the level that it got approved at. It'll leave about $500,000 for the 24-25 budget year. So that's the forecast. In terms of just an FYI, Finance Committee relative to the Bolin property, as you may remember, we initially had a firm do an initial appraisal, and SUNY required us to have a separate appraisal from another firm,
Which is a lot lower,
which
right?
was a lot lower. So then the college, in discussion with SUNY, requested the first appraisal company to update. The meeting was about a 6-month period from the time first appraisal was done versus the second appraisal by the second firm. Well, it just so happened we got the results yesterday, and the appraisal for the first firm is even a little bit higher than it originally was. So we're going to have to, we'll just provide that information to the county attorney and, try to negotiate.
Well, it should be less, shouldn't it? Because they've got all those trees down, have they not?
It's, the college provided information to the first appraisal company about circumstances that had changed. But, they use their own black box in terms of algorithms that, the appraisal, there's some science and some art to it, I suppose. So it is what it is. So we'll just provide the information to Bob, and there's enough of an allocation by the county, 50% match, and SUNY that approved it in their state budget at the end of April. There's enough to approve it at the level that there was a tentative agreement between the parties coming off the first appraisal. I think, college is going to recommend to the county attorney is, prudent person would at least make an effort to go back to the property owners and just say, hey, we've got 2 appraisals here, and see if we can negotiate a lower price. If we can't, then we'll provide that information to SUNY and say, we made our best efforts. Currently, I think the owner wants $5,000 per acre. I think the key thing was how many acres, just getting that more specific. So I think there's enough funds at the current level, but I think we'll probably have the county attorney take a shot at.
So we're not going to just take the lower. Like, we're still working with why do we think that appraiser, that company is better?
I don't know that we think either one is better. I think all you're doing is leveraging, a lower price. It's kind of like selling your house. I mean, there's, it's assessed at a certain level. You can get 2 different appraisers in there, and they look at different comparables. They look at other factors.
So we're not dealing with the lower one at all.
We're just going to
dealing with
use
the
that
higher
I think we're going to use it as leverage.
both.
They already know about the higher one. I think not the updated one. I don't think we'd necessarily share that. That wouldn't be to our advantage. But I think, but it's not materially. I think it's 5 or 8 or 10 grand more. It's not that big of an update. But
better and in our packet, in their packet.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so that's the update. It'll probably might take a few weeks, and then we'll come back to the board just to finalize the number, and unless it hasn't changed, and we won't need to come back to here or to the board.
Because we passed the initial one.
Correct.
Okay.
But with probably a not to exceed. So I think as long as we don't go over that, I think the board would be all set.
I still don't understand why we're tied to the first one, but anyway.
I don't think the college is tied to anything other than good faith negotiations. We had really a tentative agreement, subject to conditioned on the state approving funding.
And they didn't approve funding for that amount, right?
They did approve funding.
Oh,
Now,
they approved.
There
funding,
is part of the state's condition in approving funding is that we had a second appraisal.
Right.
to be done, which opened up to the can of worms that we're currently in. So I think the state's got to approve this project. And if part of the conditions are, yes, we did get 2 appraisals. Yes, we did go back to the owner and negotiate in good faith. Once we do that, and whatever we conclude, then the college will present that to SUNY and say, we'd like this to be approved by SUNY. So I think we're just going through the usual channels of procedures with SUNY. I mean, they're paying 50% to get to say something. They usually get to say a lot on capital projects. So there's no real rush with this. I mean, all we're doing is buying.
And I'm sure Bob will use a lower appraisal as part of the negotiation. Duly recommended that the county take over. And I'm sure Bob's a good attorney. I'm sure he'll use the leverage of the lower appraisal to see what he can do.
Anything else?
That's it. Just the other informational items, human resource updates, just standard transactions for the past month. Grant approvals that are under 50,000. Investment report, we did, college retained a firm to help us optimize our cash flows, and you'll see the report that it's pretty substantive. I think we're getting over 4.5% on cash that we have available, and on any given month it's well over $10 million, right? So that'll be a positive variance, I think, in this year's budget, and they're a great firm, and a number of community colleges in New York use them as well. So that's in your report. Student Village housing, we did make the monthly debt payment, and just so you know, we're probably we're gonna probably go out to market and refinance that project over the next couple of months. Our next step is to meet with Moody's Investor Service, who will kind of grade us, and we're really looking to get an investment grade assessment, which is generally in the terminology of B credit rating. You've probably heard the highest you can get is a AAA credit rating. Undergrade is usually C or below. That's what, when you hear the term junk bonds, that's usually under C or D. But B is pretty high status, gives you some other features to finance the project. Pay finance originally was a $20 million project, paid down debt at 10 years worth. So we'll probably borrow somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 million. Markets seem to be settling out there with interest rates. No interest rate increase last week, so I think the market settled. Looks like there's appetite for housing post-COVID, so we'll be doing that over the next 3 months.
What was our bond rating before?
They didn't go out and get they just went to a bank. They went to
so this would be our first rating.
this would be the first rating for housing, not the college, but
Right.
The foundation backed that first loan with their
Right.
assets, so it's a different situation.
Good. Thank you, Michael.
you're welcome.
Facilities, David.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. As you just approved, the photo lab contracts, if you recall, we bid that about a month ago, only had one bidder. So we opted to rebid, and this time around, we ended up with 8 bids on the project. So we saved $140,000 from that first bid that was given to us about a month ago. So the wait paid off and the rebid paid off. Construction contracts were finalized for all 4 vendors for the restroom projects in Old Science and Student Services. That work has started. In fact, asbestos remediation is going on this week. but a lot of demo has already occurred. And as part of the demo, there's some additional asbestos that's going to have to be remediated, but that's not atypical. But that project is moving along well. We received 10 proposals from architects for the design or redesign of the old science building to a student union. The project selection committee now is going to narrow that number down and then ultimately interview the architects. And we hope to have an architect in place for that project by the beginning of July. Bids for the HVAC replacement of the Student Center West Gym were opened on May 11th and approved by the board at their May 25th meeting. So we've sent out notices of intent to award and to the contractors. So a construction contractor contracts will be now be developed with the county. Electric facilities repair work, this is for the damage that occurred back on Thanksgiving, were successfully completed on May 27th. Unfortunately, we had another incident over the weekend. This is related, I think, to the fuse system around the main transformer because the main transformer was damaged. Luckily, with the installation of that, the last time we purchased an extended warranty, a 5-year warranty. So we'll be having communications with the manufacturer of the unit, and Matt will be on site today to walk us through what we will need to do with respect to that issue.
That's because of the school roll. What?
The one in Thanksgiving was correct. Yeah. So that meant this time around there may have been an incident with a chipmunk, but I don't think that was the primary cause. It really has to, I think it has to do with the fuse system around that.
Those chipmunks can be nasty.
Well, we can't. We talked to Matco a lot, and he says it's unbelievable what get into transformers. Even raccoons, birds, you name it, they get in somehow, some way. So it's
If you want to
we're
borrow
doing
my
everything we
vehicle.
can now. We're using steel wool, we're using foam, we're using increased bait traps. We're using a lot of different techniques, whatever you want to call it, to try to minimize the likelihood of this happening. But it's tough. It's a challenge, put it that way. Preliminary designs for the nursing, Decker nursing renovation project are well underway and they're in completion. In fact, we're meeting this morning internally to talk about costs for the project, but we continue to hone the designs and the costs related to that project. We had an initial meeting with the college steering committee to begin discussions, and Madam Chair, you were at the meeting for the conversion of the Wales building to a one-stop student admissions and enrollment center, which I thought went very well. I know the architect followed up with the foundation after that meeting to have conversations with them and their needs. So at their next meeting, they'll be coming back to us with an initial proposal of what we can do to enhance this building, but then focus on the student admissions and enrollment aspect of it. A design contract has finally been finalized for the replacement of the Decker HVAC system, which is exclusive of the nursing work which is going on. So this will be a separate project from the nursing work, although there will be some HVAC modifications done as part of the nursing project. We're waiting for a cost proposal from Logical Buildings regarding a utility sub-metering project, which will meter all of the buildings on campus, water, electric, and gas. IK Systems is providing us with a proposal to increase the number of campus-wide security cameras that we have. So we're waiting for that proposal, and a purchase order is being finalized for the campus-wide door locks project through Harris Security Solutions. So those two, in concert with one another, should or will provide for an enhanced security across campus. And then you can see the other projects which we've spoken about every month. We're waiting for the architecture and design contracts for those to be finalized, so work can begin on those. And with that, I would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Dave? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Sure.
Jim,
Okay.
second. We are adjourned. See you.